Hello story lover! If you have turned on this video, you can be sure that these will be the most meaningful minutes that you spend your day on, because Blink Recaps publishes a brand new story every single day. And today, I will tell you the real life story about a Jewish Italian man and his family in the Nazis' concentration camp. The story begins in 1939 in Italy when a young man, Guido, and his best friend Fabrizio drive down a country slope and the brakes on their old car having given away. They pass through a parade, and the audience is believing that Guido is in fact a fascist leader. All of them raise their arms in the Hail Hitler sign. While they stop, Fabrizio attempts to try and fix the car. Guido is walking around and finds a little farm where he meets a woman called Dora, who also became the love of his life in the story. Dora is insanely charmed by Guido, but he has to go to see his uncle. Guido and Fabrizio find loggings with Guido's uncle, Eliseo, who recently has come under an attack by fascists. Eliseo also helps Guido to get a job as a waiter in a fancy hotel. Guido visits a money leader in an effort to secure a loan to open up a bookshop, and he soon realizes that the disagreeable man Amico, who refuses his loan, is also betrothed of the woman who fell right into his arms, Dora. Guido is working as a waiter and has ununiquely capable of manipulating his surroundings so that events that are, in fact, just coincidences take on the aura of genuine magic. It is this ability that ultimately sways away Dora. On one rainy night, after visiting an opera, Guido virtually steals her away from the insipid Amico and takes her on a journey through her imagination. Dora is very surprised by the accidental meetings with Guido and starts to fall in love with him, but she's still engaged with Amico. At Dora's engagement party to Amico, she decides once and for all to run away with the mysterious man Guido, who keeps appearing just out of nowhere. Guido rides Uncle Eliseo's horse into the ballroom and spirits her away to the home where they're all going to live for several joyful years. They have a son, Giuseppe, and their father's enthusiasm for life. But unfortunately, a far darker event occurs. Guido begins to be harassed as a Jew by fascists. One fateful day, the Germans arrest Guido and his son at the uncle's house during preparation for Guido's birthday party. They transfer them to a concentration camp, as well as other Jews. On their way to the concentration camp, Guido decides that he will create an elaborate ruse to protect his own son from the horror of this crucial situation. He tells Guido that his own father took him on a trip, just like this one, when he was a little boy, and that if he stays silent, does not look to cry, or ask for his mother, and obeys all the rules, he will win many points. After he wins 1,000 points, he will get a first prize, a real tank. Guido, excited after the idea, approaches the camp as a game, rather than what truly it is, a prison. Dora goes to the German office and asks to go to the camps as well. She doesn't know where the train will be going, but she knows that she wants to stay with her family. Guido is absolutely devastated to see his non-Jewish wife board the train. The three adults go in very different directions once at the camp. Eliseo, since he's an old man, is taken to the showers. Dora goes to the women's camp, where she hears stories about the children being killed and fears for the safety of her husband and her son. Guido and Guido go to the barracks, where Guido continues to imbue the darkness of the camp with an air of levity and joy. Guido is tired and does not want to take part in any of these games, but Guido encourages him and continues to tempt him with a real tank that the winner of the game will end up getting. When the Germans come to give directions to the prisoners, Guido pretends to know German language and translate all directions in the funny way. Guido believes his father and himself are ready to endure the difficulty and win. Guido is very tired after a hard work day in camp, but is still trying to joke around and keep encouraging him and his little son. Meanwhile, Dora works in a women's camp and misses her family. She's not allowed to see them and doesn't even know if they're alive. Guido later on refuses to take a shower and unknowingly escapes being gassed. So Guido hides him with the help of other Italian prisoners, since there are no other children. Guido asks his son to hide in the barracks because he's scared that Germans will find him and kill him as any other Jewish child. One day, accidentally, Guido sees an empty commander's room with a loudspeaker, and him and Guiso speak out to Dora that they miss her and that they love her. Guido hopes to escape, but his hope starts to arrive when he's asked to be a waiter at an event where Dr. Lessing and an old friend of his from a restaurant back home, now a doctor in the Nazi army, will be dining in. Meanwhile, some man tells little Guiso that Germans make coat buttons and soaps from children in this camp. Guiso almost believes it, but Guido tells him that this man is lying because he wants to win the tank. Guiso wants to go home, and Guido pretends that they can go away, but unfortunately, the prize will come to another little boy. It works, and Guiso decides to stay in this game. One day, Guido sees German children who are playing hide and seek. He calls Guiso and shows them. Guiso now believes that the games are in fact real. Dr. Lessing, however, ignores the gravity of Guido's situation and only wanted Guido as a waiter at the party because he needed help solving a riddle. Desolate, Guido takes Guiso back to the barracks. But before, he stops to play that Offenbach opera, and him and Dora once attended, the loudspeaker, in effort to lift his wife's spirits. Soon the war is over, and the camp is thrown into a state of confusion and panic. All the prisoners are being loaded back into trucks that are returning empty. There's a reason for empty cars. All the Jews are being killed. Desperate to warn Dora, Guido tells Guiso to hide in a cabinet until everybody is gone. He convinces his son that he's almost a winner. He misses only 40 points until 1,000. The only thing that he has to do is sit silent in the cabinet till all the soldiers are gone. Guido put on women's clothing and sneaks over to the women's camp. He cannot find Dora and is discovered by the soldiers. But as soon as that happened, he is marched off to his death. He manages to give his son one last moment of joy. As he walks by the cabinet where Guiso's hiding, he throws his son a wink and does a funny little walk, playing the game to a bitter end. After a good while, Guido was shot by a soldier. When morning arrives, Guiso, seeing that everybody is now gone, crawls out of the cabinet. He looks around in absolute confusion, but then he hears a little rumbling in the distance. His eyes lit up. A real tank is rounding in the corner. He has thought that he's won. An American soldier pulls him into the tank, and they ride out outside of the camp. As they pass the crowds of escaped prisoners, Guiso recognizes his mother and runs to her. We won! Yes, we won! The cruelty of the Nazis will forever be remembered, and the victims of the Jewish people will never be forgotten. But we can teach our own children a history lesson and not repeat the same mistakes of the Nazis in the future. I ask you to save humanity in every single situation possible. And of course, subscribe to the Blanker Recaps channel so I can tell you brand new stories every day. Goodbye.